In a quiet, forgotten village stood an ancient stone well. For centuries, it was said to be cursed. Locals whispered that if you leaned over the edge and called into the darkness, the well would whisper back, and you would never be the same. Few dared to test the legend, and those who did were never quite themselves afterward. 12-year-old Nora and her best friend Jacob loved a good mystery. When they stumbled upon the well during a late afternoon bike ride, Nora's eyes lit up with excitement. Jacob, however, hesitated. "We shouldn't mess with it," he said, shuffling his feet, but Nora was fearless. "Come on, Jacob, it's just a silly old story. Let's prove everyone wrong." The air grew cooler as the sun dipped below the horizon. With a flashlight in hand, Nora leaned over the well's mossy rim. Her voice echoed as she called, "Hello?" For a moment, there was only silence. Then a faint whisper drifted up from the darkness. It was soft, like dry leaves brushing against each other. At first, neither of them could make out the words. Then it grew louder, clearer. "Stay and see." Jacob grabbed Nora's arm. "Let's go," he said, his voice shaking, but Nora yanked her arm free. "No way. It's probably just wind or something. I want to know what it is." Without warning, her flashlight flickered and died. Panic surged through Jacob. He fumbled for his phone, but when he turned on its flashlight, Nora was gone. "Stop joking," Jacob called, peering into the well. His voice echoed back to him. "Nora!" The whispering started again, louder now and unmistakably eerie. "Come closer. Look inside." Terrified, Jacob stumbled backward, but he couldn't leave her. Summoning his courage, he peered over the edge. His heart dropped when he saw Nora standing at the bottom of the well, her face illuminated in an eerie pale glow. "Nora, are you okay?" But as his flashlight beam focused on her face, his blood turned cold. It wasn't Nora at all. The figure had her face, but it was wrong. Her eyes were black voids, and her smile stretched too far, as though her jaw had been unhinged. "Come down, Jacob," the thing whispered in Nora's voice. "It's wonderful here." He staggered back, tears streaming down his face. Turning to run, he tripped over a loose stone and fell hard, scraping his hands. When he looked back, the well was silent and the whispers were gone. Jacob bolted to the village, yelling for help. When he brought others back to the well, Nora was nowhere to be found. For days they searched, but she had vanished without a trace. Jacob never told anyone what he had seen that night, but sometimes when he closed his eyes, he could still hear her voice, or whatever it was pretending to be her, whispering, "Come closer." Years later, when Jacob was grown, the well was sealed off with heavy stone. But sometimes on quiet nights, he swore he heard whispers through the cracks, calling his name.